Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how I edit my videos on Final Cut Pro, and more specifically, I'm going to focus very much on the plugins that I use and also the effects that I use that are in Final Cut Pro and transitions and things like that, because I feel like that's something that I add a lot to my videos to help them be more entertaining and just add something to my video. So those I use absolutely a lot. So I'm going to share with you guys all my favorite plugins that I use, and I'll have links to everything I mentioned in this video in the description box below, so you guys can go download them or buy them for yourself. Some of them are free, some of them are paid. So yeah, this is what I'm going to be doing in today's video. So let's go into Final Cut Pro and I can share with you guys everything I use and how I edit my videos. So here you can see my Final Cut Pro setup. For this video, I'm going to be going and using the project that I made for the Focus on iOS 16 video that I recently uploaded. I think it's the last video that I uploaded, or 2 videos ago. So yeah, this video I used a lot of plugins and things. So I'm going to be using this as reference for how I edit my videos, but also share with you guys a few other things as well. So when I start editing my videos, the first thing I do is I create a new library. I create a new library for every single video that I do. So I just go to new and then library, and then I just call whatever I want to, and I save it in the movies folder on my Mac. And once I've created my new library, as you can see here, then I go ahead and make a new project. So I just click on Command N and then just call it whatever I have the video for. And then I import all of my footage. So that would be A-roll, screen recordings, B-roll, all that kind of stuff. I import immediately, and then later on, as I'm editing, I will edit in some more things if I need them. So now you can see I have all my clips here, and the first thing I do is I add in my A-roll. And a lot of the times with the types of video I make, that goes with a screen recording. So for instance, if I go back to this edit that I did, as you can see, the entire video I have a screen recording running next to me. So what I do is I immediately first go ahead and sync those clips by just clicking on that clip that I'm talking in. So that would be these 3 clips, and then I also select all my screen recordings that I know will sync with that. And then I go to clip and synchronize clips. And this just really helps to just make sure the timing is correct with the screen recording and the video that is running, so that it is all timed correctly. When I'm talking about this, it follows along. So that's what I do, and then I just drag that synchronized clip into my video. So once I have my synchronized clip, what I usually do is I go in and I just add in the screen recording to the position that I want it to be, and I also go ahead and add in a PNG of an iPhone so that it looks like the screen recording is inside the iPhone. And a tip that I have for this also is using the shape mask tool to make sure the edges aren't sticking out from beneath your iPhone PNG. So that's what I usually do, and then this is basically what it looks like. So then I have my clips that are synced, and then I can start editing. So the first thing I usually do after this, so I have my screen recording here and I have my A-roll here. So then usually what I do is I find a way to animate the iPhone coming in, and for that I use this pack here, which is mBehaviourBasics. Now I have a whole video on how to use mBehaviourBasics and how I use it to specifically do what I'm about to do for this. So I'll have that linked in the eye up top for you guys to go check out. So I'm not going to go in too much detail on exactly how I do this, but you can go ahead and watch that video if you want to know how I basically animate it to look like just a screen recording popping up like this. So here it just appears, but what I traditionally do, if I go back to my focus video, this is how it ends up looking with the iPhone jumping in. So I use that titles pack to basically animate it to look like it's coming in. So once I've animated that to come in, what I then do, we're still working in our synchronized clip, by the way. So what I then do is I just quickly do the color correction here. So here you can see all that I do for color correction. I don't do too much. I have a LUT pack that I use for my videos. I got this from Julipresets. It's her DREAMY pack, I believe. So the one I use is variation 3. So I use that on all my videos. I just set it to the mix to like about halfway through. It depends on the video. So I add Luts to my videos just because I feel like they have a cool look to them and it's very easy, way easier than going in and color correcting it and finding out how to do this myself. So yeah, I do use LUT packs, again in the description box below, everything. And then what I also usually do for just additional color correction is I go to the color board here and I set the exposure's midtones a bit lower. So as you can see, it just adds more of a contrast. I just feel like it just makes it look a bit better when I do that, because this looks too bright. Just to add a bit of contrast to it, I just lower the midtones exposure. So that is all I do for color corrections, LUT, and then the exposure midtones. And then once I'm happy with that, so as you can see, I have the screen recording synced, I have color correction applied to myself. Then I go out of my synchronized clip. So now it looks like this. It's just all in one clip. Then I go ahead and do my rough cut. So that means cutting out any pauses, cutting out, yeah, everything that I don't want in the video. So that's what I do next. So this usually takes quite a while, but yeah, so that is the next step that I usually do with my videos. Once I'm done with the rough cut, it will look something like this. As you can see, I just have all my clips here. Everything is cut up, so no awkward pauses or anything like that. Then what I do is I go through and I add in transitions, I add in B-roll, all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to start with B-roll. I'm going to go to the other edit for reference, because I'm not going to add in all the B-roll. So for example, for B-roll, I will usually put in something like this that has something to do with my video, just to add something else so that it isn't just me they're looking at. Sometimes something else comes in, some other shot of your phone or something like that. I just feel like it adds a lot more to your videos when you're not just showing a screen recording, but you're actually showing something with the phone in hand. I just feel like it adds a bit. So this is a clip that I did in a previous older video, but I just used it in this video again. So what I usually do for this, as you can see, I have a transition go, which I'm going to get to in a bit. Then I have the B-roll playing. So this is what the B-roll looks like, and then I have an out transition. So that's what I do throughout the entire video. I go through, usually I'll have an idea of where the B-roll should go based on my planning that I did before filming. So here again is an example of B-roll that I added in, again a transition, and then just something that I'm talking about in the video that's not just shown in the screen recording, but also shown as there in my hand. It just feels more authentic, I feel. So here's another example. So I do a transition, show whatever it is I want to show, add some text as well, and then an out transition. Usually the out transitions I use the same transition for. So then I'll go in and add all of those. Then once the rough cut is done and the B-roll is in, I know everything is kind of set in place. Nothing's gonna move around too much. Then I wanna add in my titles and all my transitions. So also sound effects is also part of that. But yeah, so then I do all of that just because then I know, like I said, everything's kind of set in place. I just need to add the additional tweaks and bits and bobs here and there. So I'm going to go through and show you guys all the title packs that I use in my videos, and also some of the transition packs that I also use. The ones that I use the most I'm going to be sharing with you guys. Obviously you can go ahead and go more in depth and look into all the packs and see everything that they have, but these are just the ones that I mostly use. So I'm going to start at the beginning here for this first title. So I always at the beginning of my videos have a title that shows the title of this video. So this is going to be focused on iOS 16. So I have a title that comes in and plays, and that's what it looks like. So that title is from Simple Video Making. It is a free title that you can get, and it's from their 6 free titles pack that they have. So it's this titles pack here, and I use the free title 3. So that what I do is I just create this image here in Photoshop and load that into the drop zone, and then I add in the color and the font that I want for my video. So fonts wise, what I always use for my videos is the Apple fonts that you can get on their developer website. So I use SF Compact Rounded a lot, and then all the other SF Pro text or things like that. So all their packs of text. They have New York as well, which I also love using. So you can go to their developer website and go ahead and check out all the fonts that they have. So those are the fonts that I use for my videos. This title, along with a subscribe button, an Instagram handle, and my end screen, I all have in a stock file on my computer because I don't want to have to edit this every single time. I just add them into a stock folder. So you'll see here in all my libraries here, I have a stock library. And here I just have all the things that I always reuse in my videos. That's one of my biggest tips. Make one like this so you don't have to waste time with things that you always add in your videos. You just have them already made here and you can just copy them and paste them in your project. So this is the subscribe button that I use in my videos. It's from a pack called Catchtheshooter YouTuber pack number 4. So this pack I mentioned in a video of all the free plugins that I use. I'll have that video linked in the eye up top so you can find all free plugins that I use for Final Cut Pro. But do be advised, this pack isn't free anymore, but it's still not super expensive for what you get. So this is what I use for my subscribe button here. As you can see, I just changed some of the colors because this is what it traditionally looks like. So it's just red and yellow. I just changed it a bit to look more like my style. So it's very customizable. They have a bunch of cool little things. Also, the the Instagram handle that I use is also from them. So they just have cool animations. Also, this Instagram handle is also from them. So this is the social media number 5 and this is social media number 9. You can edit the social media that you have. So icon option, you can change it to whatever you want. But yeah, I just use it for my Instagram handle. So these are all from the same pack that I really recommend. It's super nice and it's not as expensive. So yeah, I really recommend checking this out. For some of the things that I add on in my videos, what I do a lot of the times is I add in sound effects, just add to the animation or whatever. So for this, I added in a mouse click little sound effect. I get all my sound effects from Epidemic Sound. I get all my music from Epidemic Sound. So I have a link to them in the description box below. You do pay monthly for it, but the fact that everything is non-copyright and you just have that security that is non-copyright is worth it for me to pay it every month. So that's how I get my sound and sound effects. So for my subscribe button, I added in the mouse click. I use mouse clicks quite a lot in my videos for transitions, just because I feel like it's just a quick little transition that you can add and it just makes it more tactile when there's a sound effect. As you can see, the title that I mentioned that I put at the beginning of my videos is also in my stock footage library because I use it so much. So I just copy this. It is the title, and then on that is also a blurred background plugin, which I will get to, that I use for that. So I just copy this and then paste it in the project and then just change the text and the icon that I want there. The last thing in my stock project is my end screen that I use. So this is just a compound clip containing a background, the social media icon that I mentioned beforehand, and then also just the thanks for watching text. And I have that in here, and music that I always use for my outro here. And then what I use for transitioning to my outro is what I mentioned before, a sound effect. And I also use this effect from Final Cut Pro, Bad TV. That's one of the most used effects that I use, and it's in Final Cut Pro already. So this is what it looks like. So it just creates a cool little transition from my video to the end screen. So just the mouse click. So that is what I use for my stock footage. They're all in one little space here that I can just quickly copy and paste for every video. So we're back in this project here. So now I want to cover all the other plugins that I use a lot for my videos. Those were mostly the free plugins that I use, and they're very helpful to use in your videos. Now I want to cover some of the other ones that maybe cost a bit more, but I highly recommend because of the quality that they have, and they get regular updates, which is nice. So most of the paid plugins that I have, well, all the paid plugins that I have are from motionvfx.com. They have a bunch of different plugin packs. The two that I have from them is mKeynote and mTuber 3. mKeynote is the one I most recently got. It is a pack that I just worked with them to create, and I love the little animations that it has, and I used it a lot, especially in this video. So I love that pack. And then also mTuber 3, I feel like is just a good staple for any YouTubers out there who want little additions to their videos. These are just so good to use. So also that pack, but I'll go more in detail on what I mostly use out of those packs as well. So I'm first going to focus on the mTuber pack and mention all the ones that I mostly use in this pack for my videos to make them look a bit better. One thing I use a lot is the icons, especially the social media icons, the custom icon. I used it in this clip here. So I use that a lot to just add some icon to my videos. A lot of the times I add icons in my videos because I talk a lot about apps and things like that. So this is something that I use often in this pack. Then also something that I use a lot in the tools section of mTuber 3 is the pointer. So I use this to highlight just a small part if I'm tapping somewhere on the screen, if I'm showing something and I just want to point it out and make it a bit more, emphasize it a bit more, then I use the pointer here. I also use the zoom in to make just a quick zoom in when I'm talking, when I want to, again, to add more emphasis to something, I use the zoom option. And for the transitions of the mTuber 3 pack, what I mostly use is transition number 3. So as you can see, I used it at the beginning of my video. Usually when my screen recording comes in, I use that to transition. And then also I use transition 5 a lot when I'm going to B-roll or something. I also use transition 5 a lot. And what again is great about all of these is you can adjust the colors and everything is very customizable to make it look more like your style of video. And then my most used plugins for the mKeynote plugin pack is first off the backgrounds. They have a lot of backgrounds and they're very helpful if you want to add text over them or just add in something else. You can use the backgrounds for that. And especially I use the background number 6, which just blurs your background. I use that like for the intro title. As you can see, it just blurs the background really easily, and it's nice to just have a title that just blurs your background. It's so quick and easy to use. You don't have to go ahead and add in an effect and edit it yourself. It's just there, you can just add it. Then they do have a bunch of different types of text, but mine that I use a lot is specifically in the miscellaneous section. I use the tag. I like using just because it is so minimal and just quick to add in some text. And then you also have the text cloud, which is also really nice that I like to use and very minimal as well. That's what I really like about this pack, is how minimal some of the things are in here. Obviously, there are other things that I also use in these packs, but these are just the most used ones that I like to use. Then in the placeholders section, I recently used this one and I think it's really nice. All the placeholders are really nice. This is just the one that I find myself using a lot. So I used it in this video specifically just to emphasize a few things and just add something. But they have so many nice placeholders here, which really can add a lot when you're adding in B-roll or just little photos or something. They have so many different placeholders that you can use. So that is also something that I love using. And they just have a bunch of different types of text as well that look really cool. If you don't know, this is inspired by Apple's keynotes, the way they present their keynotes. This pack is inspired by that, and I absolutely love the look of Apple's keynotes, the minimal design, but also very functional. So I feel like this is just a nice pack to have. And then for the transitions of the mKeynote pack that I use a lot, first one is transition number 4 that I showed you guys. That is this clips transition here. So that's a nice transition to use. Then I also use transition number 6. So this just block. I showed you guys that with the B-roll that I added in. Again, you can customize the color to make it look more your style. And then also transition number 8 is kind of the same thing but a bit different, and again you can customize the colors. So that's also one that I absolutely love using in my videos. Again, it just depends on the type of video that I'm making. Sometimes I will use more plugins, sometimes I will use less plugins, but they add so much to your videos. I know there are people who barely use plugins in their videos, and I don't know how they do it because it's one of my favorite things to add. As for the effects that I use, I mentioned to you guys I use the bad TV effect, especially for transitions and a mouse click. I usually use those two together, bad TV and a mouse click like this for my outro. And then also what I use, it's not actually an effect, but it helps a lot. is the custom LUT effect that I add in my LUTs to my videos to give them that color grade. So that's how I mostly edit my videos. I did the rough cut, I added in B-roll, I added in all my titles and transitions, all the little elements. This takes a while just because you need to go through and actually exactly find where you can add in more, where it's kind of getting a bit boring or you're just going through the same thing. Adding something like just this little pointer or something adds a lot just to draw attention more to your videos. Then the last step is usually just adding in music. Like I mentioned, I use Epidemic Sound for my music. I think I should probably expand more in music in my videos. I'm not very good at using it yet, but when I do add in music in my videos, I use Epidemic Sound. I think that's pretty much it. That is how I edit my videos. I feel like I was all over the place in this video, but usually this is the process that I go through for my videos. And sometimes it's not as easy as just rough cut B-roll titles. Sometimes when I'm in my rough cut, I'm like, oh, I can add a title here, and then I add in a title, and then I go back to rough cutting. So sometimes it's more up and down than this, but overall, this is the type of way that I edit my videos, the process in a more chronological order. I'm very happy for the plugins that I found recently, and Motion VFX have been very kind in giving me some plugins. They're not sponsoring this video, but they did gift me some of these, so I'm really thankful for them. But I do recommend them for plugins just because they are so reliable, and you do get regular updates to your plugin pack, so you don't have to worry that it's not going to work after a while, because you do get regular updates as well. But yeah, that is how I edit my videos in Final Cut Pro. I hope this helped you guys out. Maybe you got some tips and tricks, some effects, some plugins that you might want to use yourself. Let me know in the comments down below if you have any questions for me, and if you have any recommendations for plugins and things, definitely leave that in the comments down below as well, and help each other out. Again, everything is linked in the description box below, where you can buy or just get for free the plugins that I mentioned in this video, also my preset pack, yeah, all that kind of stuff, fonts. I'll have that all in the description box below, so don't forget to check that out. If this video did help you out and you got something out of it, definitely give this video a thumbs up. It really helps me a lot. Comment down below any questions you might have for me, and definitely subscribe by clicking on the icon on the screen. Click on the playlist to see all of my other Final Cut Pro related videos, and click on the video to see my previously uploaded video. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!